It's predictions time, ladies and gentlemen. NXT ShowDown taking place this Tuesday, October the 7th, where NXT go head-to-head with TNA. We've got 4 matches we're going to go through now for you on the prediction show here today, and I've got my good friend NXT in a hot seat as we're going to go through them for us right now. I'm going to kick things off with DarkState versus the Hardy Boys. Winner takes all for the NXT and TNA Tag Team Championships. No real build to this one, just was announced on TV. How do you see this one playing out? And keep in mind as well, the Hardy Boys will be defending the TNA Tag Team Championships a few days later at Bound for Glory against the Dudley Boys, one final time in a tables match. Does that match become titleless, or does all the gold end up on the line?
All the gold is on the line. Hardys walk away with possibly the easiest win of their career, and they add the fact that they are not only a WWE champion, a TNA champion, multiple other branded company champions, and now an NXT Tag Team champion. Yeah, easy win for the Hardy Boys.
It is the one tag team title they say they have not won in WWE, and it makes the collection complete, doesn't it? Let's be fair. They claim to be the greatest tag team of all time. This just goes into another way of claiming that as well. And of course, when you go and take on the Dudley Boys or Team 3D at Bound for Glory, of course, following that, who also got a claim for being the greatest tag team of all time, it just adds a little bit more going into that. Look, DarkState for me have not worked as tag team champions. It's just, I don't know, there's something not right with NXT's tag team division right now as well. So the fact that they could perhaps get the Hardy Boys for a few appearances for the rest of the year as well would actually do NXT a massive favor. Helps actually TNA would actually win an NXT championship. It would be a shame that it actually has to be a really long-term WWE Hall of Fame tag team to do so, but still it would give TNA a bit of a rub because NXT's been winning all the TNA titles of late. So yeah, Hardy Boys makes the most sense for me.
Yeah, agreed, man. I can't see it going any other way. TNA need to win something, man, because even though their women's champion is at NXT star, their men's champion is an NXT star, they need to pick up some dubs somewhere.
Absolutely, and this is one place we see it happening. But will it happen for 2 titles on this show? We're going to talk about the men's North American Championship now. The champion Ethan Page taking on Mustafa Ali. Now, of course, Mustafa Ali won rightly a number 1 contender's opportunity to go against the champion for the North American Championship 2 years ago. 2 whole years ago. The match didn't happen because he was released from the company. Now, of course, he's actually made a return during this. He's actually politicked his way into the match. I like the fact he's actually used his gimmick here to get this match. And of course, he'll be taking on Ethan Page next week and rightfully getting that championship match. Now, again, this would be massive for TNA. I actually think this could be the biggest talking point of the entire show if Mustafa Ali can actually win the gold here. Can he win the gold? Yes. Got to see it happening? Yes. But will he? NXT, I'm coming to you first.
I'm going to say yes. I think this is a wrong that can be righted here, and I would love to see it. Like, he hasn't got to hold it long, but I think, like, even if he drops it for like 2 weeks or something and then Page wins it back, I think it just wrongs a right that needs to be justified, and I genuinely want Ali to win this. I don't think the logical booking makes sense for him to win it, especially I'm sure Page has got something lined up with Dr. Wagner Jr., so I think they need to involve a title there, or in case it's just going to be Page for Wagner Jr.'s, I think it's international title or whatever it is in AAA, but I would love to see Mustafa Ali win this title. And even, look, hell, throw Mustafa Ali, Ethan Page and Dr. Wagner Jr. in a triple threat for the North American Championship, and you can have Page win it back from Ali.
That's a really good shout. I love the fantasy booking there, of how you can make that work. And the thing is, I'm just thinking about the full circle moment as well. Just the fact that Ali could win the title, win it in front of the NXT crowd. I can just imagine the big pop and the big wow moment, and just it just be one of those feel good moments of the year. I think everyone would go and talk about that when it comes to like end of year awards and stuff like that. So yeah, I personally would love to see it. Unfortunately though, I'm going to be the guy that's going to burst the bubble. I'm going to say Ethan Page is going to retain here. Look, if Mustafa Ali wins, I can see the reasoning being the fact that it could be Dr. Wagner Jr. that's in attendance, and that's the reason it's cost. But Ethan Page has got this custom Canadian-themed North American Championship. It is gorgeous. One of my favorite championships right now in WWE. But we've got the Dr. Wagner Jr. program lined up, title versus title that they're going to do. I think they should keep Page looking strong going into that match.
Yeah, because I think actually the title that Wagner holds is the South American Championship. Paige just wants the whole of the United States. He wants the South, he wants the North, he wants it all. So yeah, Paige winning probably is a logical bet, but I'm going to go with my heart on this one. I want Mustafa Ali to win it.
Hey, if I could vote, I'm voting for Mustafa Ali.
100%.
We're going to move on then to the Survivor Series elimination matches. We have one for the men, one for the women. So let's go with the women's one first. We have captain and NXT Women's Champion Jacy Jayne lead in the case for NXT, with Jaida, Parker, Lola Vice, and Sol Ruca going against TNA's team. Of course, the captain is NXT's Kelani Jordan, of course, is the TNA Knockouts champion. We've got the Inspiration there as well, the current Knockouts tag team champions, and Mara Sadè, of course, who's formerly known as Jakara Jackson in her time in WWE. Thoughts of this Survivor Series elimination match, and how do you see it playing out?
The fact is more NXT versus NXT. I feel just with these teams, just because 4 previous WWE stars going up against 4 current WWE stars, it feels like we're lacking the TNA in this one. I think either way WWE win this one, so I don't think the result really matters, but I think it's just the safest bet with the talent, because obviously knowing the style and everything like that, I think this will be an okay match. It's not the match I'm most looking forward to, because I think there are some key names that are missing from this, like a Blake Monroe, a Jordan Grace, but either way, I think with the likes of Jaida, Parker in there, you've got some solid wrestlers in there that will put on a decent show.
It's going to be interesting because there is combustible elements on the NXT teams for sure. I feel like TNA is a cohesive unit. They are there to, dare I say, take over when it comes over with these NXT shows. But you can see with both the men's and the women's, there is a dynamic. And Jacy Jayne is the heel champion with 3 babyface potential challengers. Just took on Lola Vice at No Mercy. No, Lola Vice was screwed. She can do the thing for NXT, but in the match you could see there could be some friction somewhere. Sol Ruca is someone I'm sure would like to win a 3rd title. There could be some friction somewhere. Jaida Parker, someone who, let's be fair, will have her say if it needs to be said. There could be some friction there. I would not be surprised to see TNA win this. However, if you're looking at names on paper, NXT should be winning this. That's where I'm going to stand with this one. It's a very difficult one to call, but I'm going to throw my neck out. Do you know what? No. I was going to say I think TNA is going to win this, but I'm going to stick out and say NXT wins this. I think, like you said, the team's just too strong, but I have a feeling, because it's an elimination match, I'm going to say that Jacy Jayne is the first and possibly only person eliminated from the NXT side.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, especially if you want to set up future challengers for Jacy Jayne. Even if it turns out to be a 4-way between all of them for that title, I think that Sol Ruca is on this just massive elevation at the minute, and I think that she is starting to become a real contender now for that NXT Women's Championship. She already has 2. Why not put her on a 3? Why not put a 3rd on her? Make her triple strapped, and I think it'd be like one of the few, or if only, time I've ever seen a triple crown champion in WWE, like at the same time. So I can see it going that way. It makes a hell of a lot of sense for creative. But yeah, I think the NXT team is way too strong, and I think they're going to not walk it, but I think that they will comfortably win this.
Absolutely. So my original prediction that I had in my head before I came on this video, which I've now changed whilst we're doing this, was that I thought Kelani Jordan could be the sole survivor and win it for TNA despite being an NXT superstar. She was called a traitor on NXT this past week. Let's be fair. Kind of had a point. Jacy Jayne, when she said that, I was actually rooting for Jacy Jayne. But at the same time, Kelani Jordan, I think, is going to be the sole survivor. I think she's going to go through a 3-on-1 or a 4-on-1 dynamic in this match, and I think she's going to have to try and do the comeback on behalf of TNA. So it sends the same message, but she doesn't walk away with the dub. But yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, it makes the most sense here for the women of NXT here to pick up that win.
Yeah, no, agreed. I'm going to go with NXT as well.
Let's move on to the men's side of things then. Of course, it is Survivor Series Elimination Style Match 4 versus 4. And I love it's 4 versus 4 because that's what it was when I first started getting into wrestling. So not the original 5-on-5 here. But going with the NXT side, we've got the NXT champion and captain, Ricky Saints. We have the self-proclaimed co-captain and TNA World Champion, Trick Williams, who's an NXT superstar, also on that team. And of course, we've got Javon Evans and Myles Borne rounding up the NXT side. On TNA, the captain of the team is Mike Santana. He's got Frankie Kazarian, he's got Moose, and of course he's got Leon Slater as well on that team there. This is going to be a phenomenal Survivor Series style match. I'm really excited about the prospect of this one.
Yeah, I think this basically is going to be almost a counter of the women's match. And like for me, I'm going to go with TNA winning this one. I think that, especially with Trick being the TNA champion, I think that ultimately it comes down to TNA building to Mike Santana taking that title from Trick Williams. So I think TNA need to win this one for that storyline. I think that you can easily do something with the creative and build Trick Williams versus Ricky Saints at a future point as well, with how those two interacted on the promo for it. Myles Borne and Frankie Kazarian are kind of like your guys that are probably going to take the first pinfalls because they're not the most heavily pushed. But then, like, I can see it getting down to like Saints, Trick, Santana, and I don't know, because you've even got Leon Slater in there, and Leon Slater is such a hot prospect at the minute that I think that this is, like I said, a counteract to the women's one. I think the TNA team is almost too OP. Well, not too OP, but I just think it's more of over strength than the NXT team. So I'd go with TNA for the win on this one.
Yeah, so I've switched myself around because I think one win each. So I'm going for TNA to win this as well. Originally, I thought myself, well, they're planning to see the friction with the men's team with Ricky Saints and Trick Williams. It feels like a natural there's going to be a breakdown somewhere in this match. But I thought maybe Ricky Saints would find a way through, and he's just won the NXT Championship. He wouldn't lose so quickly. But at the same time, it just makes the most perfect sense that Trick Williams acts like he's the captain of the team, does what he needs to do for his ego to get Saints eliminated. Therefore, he can say, well, now I am the captain of the team. And then things all fall down and break down and fall apart. I have got this one being a closer match, and I'm going to say Mike Santana is the sole survivor of the team. And I actually could see it being a situation even where it's like perhaps maybe Saints and Williams versus Santana. So it looks like NXT are going to get this dub again, but it's the friction between Saints and Trick Williams. And pretty much the reason is that Trick Williams can't hold it together. Why NXT will throw this one down the toilet, and I think that it'll be a win for TNA. And I think as well it would be really impactful that TNA closed the show with a victory, because TNA have been losing a lot when it comes to the battle with NXT. Like you said, their titles have been on with NXT superstars, so this will just be massive for them, especially then when you look with Bound for Glory that weekend straight afterwards as well. It just encourages more people from the NXT side of things to say, do you know what, I'm going to go and check this Bound for Glory show out.
Yeah, I think just thinking about logically how they can book this safely with protecting Saints, I think it's probably going to come down to something like you said, Williams and Saints with Santana left. I think Trick will probably turn on Saints, low blow, something like that, take him out. Trick's just going to walk out the match, leave Saints vulnerable. Santana's going to do his finish and then just pick up the win. That way, you've had Saints protected, who is your NXT champion, because ultimately he's the hardest one to save in this match. So he does need some sort of screwy finish to kind of protect him from a loss. And I think that's the only logical way you get around it. Then you can then build towards Williams versus Santana. Santana will then take the title from Williams, and then Williams will come back and then be like, I want that NXT championship back, and you build to Ricky Saints versus Trick Williams.
Sounds perfect, doesn't it, in storytelling? But will that be the story that Shawn Michaels wants to tell with his NXT brand? But certainly feels like for me, we are singing from the same hymn sheet. Last, just before we finish off, Matt Cardona did cost Josh Briggs a match to get in the Survivor Series style elimination match this past week. If we could see Matt Cardona versus Josh Briggs added to the lineup, who do you see winning? I'm going to go with Matt Cardona.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Matt Cardona as well. Just on you need an outright winner. We've got 4 matches. You really need a 5th, because someone needs to walk out of this as a winner. You can't walk out going tied. But then again, if they didn't do that, I think we discussed this on the Q&A we did couple of nights ago, last night, when this goes out. I can see them doing 2001. They do this. If it ends up as a tie with 4 matches, we can then build to an actual pay-per-view, which is what it really should be, Survivor Series weekend, and then we can get something like a Briggs versus a Cardona on that show where it doesn't feel like Cardona should have to win that match. So I think there needs to be a 5th if you're not going to do that. But if they want to just do the 4, tie it up, and push it onto a proper premium live event, do it that way. But otherwise, yeah, I would go with Cardona to win.
Yeah, I totally agree with all that. I mean, for me, if you go back to this show was originally going to be called Invasion. It's been changed to Showdown. Yeah. If you go back to Invasion 2001, WCW won the show over WWE in the first one they did. WCW, ECW, the Alliance won. So I think it's this is a good placement here for TNA to win here and for NXT to get revenge later down the line. So I agree with you. They should do a full-on premium live event, and when they do it, it should be called Takeover. Damn it, because that's what it should be. It just makes the most perfect sense in my opinion.
And the best way you can make it like really important and really special, loser shuts down the company, and that's when WWE punches TNA.
Ow. Wow. Even in story terms.
Not loser leaves town, loser doesn't broadcast anymore.
Wow. Could you imagine Shawn Michaels and Triple H just like appearing on TNA TV? You know, we've bought the competition.
Oh, dude, it would be such an awesome callback.
It would be indeed. Would be fun indeed. If you've enjoyed the video, hit the like button, share with a friend, subscribe as well. Let us know your predictions for NXT Showdown in the comments below right now, and let us know some of your thoughts of our fantasy booking on this video. Take care, look after yourselves and each other. Any final thoughts, NXT, before we wrap up today?
Dude, like I said, the only thing is I wish it'd been a premium live event, but there's always opportunity to correct that. But otherwise, I'm really looking forward to it. It should be a good show.
Should be a good show indeed. Seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. And for me, I've missed Survivor Series elimination matches, so pleased they are back. Take care. We'll see you for the next one. All the best. Enjoy NXT Showdown.